Hello, welcome back to Leith Central. Happy New Year, and what we're going to do is we're going to start this year with a new model. So, new year, new model. This is the latest Mark III from Oxford Diecast, the first of a rake of 4 of order. This is the first third composite. As I say, in Scotrail livery, the unique to Scotrail this type of coach. I've also got 3 of the standard class ones on order, as well as the Scotrail DVT. So what we're going to do, we'll get this out of the box, we'll have a look at the details on it, and like how smooth it runs, and we'll also have a look how it compares to the Bachmann version of the Scotrail livery, to see how these are going to match up, because I know it's one thing that people have been speculating about online. So we'll have a look at how that lines up against the 47 you see there in the background. So I'll get this out of the box, and we'll get some closer looks at the detail on the model and the painting, and I'll give you a bit of review on it. Okay. Alright, first things first, just have a quick look at the packaging. This is just standard what you get from most manufacturers now, but a little bit lighter on like the use of plastics and stuff like that. Still very secure box. I've actually had that box already. It was wrapped in plastic sleeves when I first opened it. They've been taken off and then I've re-unboxed it for the purposes of this video. But standard, quite a sturdy sleeve there, and just cardboard surround. I like the layout of these Oxford Rail boxes. It's sort of the red and cream, very similar to BR livery there, and like the logo looking like a station top. I always thought they were quite smart looking boxes. In the box, there's some detailing parts, some air pipes there to be fit to the ends if you require. I'm probably going to leave those off, but they come in a little sealable thing with a little instruction notes attached. That's just on the buffer beam. It's a very simple set of instructions. None of this exploded diagram style stuff you get with the likes of Bachmann, so maybe that'd be a flaw for some people, but they are fairly simple where they go on the ends, so I may have a look at fitting them. It depends whether I'm looking to close couple them or not. So I'll get that box put out of the way, and then we'll have a look at the coach itself. Right, so this model is code OR763CO001, the Scotrail Mark III Composite Open. Running number SC11907. First initial impressions as it comes out of the box. The one thing I would say is it's a very nice representation of the overall shape and length of the Mark IIIs, and also the amount of detail, like small part detail there is on this compared to like the examples of the late on Hornby models, is actually quite surprising. And as I say, with it being such a flat-sided coach, you don't expect a lot of details, but I'll show you the underframe in detail a little bit closer later on, because that does look really nice. The overall painting is very sharp, and one thing I do like is these printed details on the windows, which are very sharp. I'm not sure the camera will pick them up there, but that's just the little route maps. Zoom in there. See the little route maps on the windows, the markation next to the door here, that's all clear and legible. The normal smoking signs on the windows. Clear printing of the orange camp rail stripe and the first class section. And there's no fuzzing of that as it goes round the end either, into the small little warning flashes there, and the ones on the doors printed well. There's also no fuzzing between the blue and the grey, but I have noticed there's a slight bleed in the corner in the door there, but that's just a very minor thing. It's only if you look close you can see that. But another nice detail there while we're in close is the handle picked out in silver. On overall, shape is very good on this model, looking at it comparing to photographs of the real thing. On the roof you've got the separately fitted handrails, and the aircon pods and things are all in the right place. I'm not sure on whether the roof details actually match the composite opens. As I say, there weren't many composite opens, with them being specific to Scotrail. Standard couplings of the NEM variety, slightly more chunky, heavy duty version than the ones you get with like Bachmann, but still a good coupling all the same. Plenty of play in them, and I've had a quick try. It does run fine, coupled together round at third radius curves, as they're the minimum I'll be using on my layout. What I'll do now is I'll take you in for a closer look at this brilliant underframe detail on this coach, especially around the coach ends. Okay, so starting under the first class end door, these separately set of steps, and also all the jumper cables and everything are fitted at the factory, coming out the factory like that. Buffers are standard non-sprung, but the detail on this end here, if I come around the actual corner pillar of the coach, is absolutely fantastic. That's a brilliant progression on Mark III stock, as that level of detail hasn't been seen before in any of the Hornby examples. Moving along through the bogies are a very fine moulding with lots of detail like the springs and things like that. That'll pick out very well with a bit of weathering, bit of sleeper grime on there, and just to pick out that make it appear more rather than the dark plastic. It does appear a bit shiny plastic, but that's easily solved with a little piece of weathering. Moving along here is this area here is, rather than just being printed detail, this is all moulded detail, and that's really nice. As I say, it's a very flat-sided coach looking at the Mark III, but as you move along this what appears to be a flat area on the bottom, as you get closer in, you see so much detail in this area. All them separately picked out handles on all the cabinets and things for getting changing battery boxes and air tanks and all the kind of gubbins you keep underneath the Mark III. Moving along to the other bogie, also there you see the well printed number, and also the inset handrail next to the door, which is also a separately fitted part. That's a separate wire handrail, as similar to these ones on the roof here. And again, that's another close-in view of that detailing on the side. Pull the camera back so you're not getting the shadow. Also, the windows slightly tinted, not to a heavy level, and there is an interior in there with slightly differing coach colours. You can't quite see it through the tint, but the coach seating is different colours in the first and second class sections, which is a nice touch. I believe these were initially planned to be fitted with lights, but that decision was taken back to keep the cost of the overall model down, which £29 for a Mark III these days, especially one of this quality, is a really nice price considering what you pay for a lot of the Hornby ones these days. And as I said, the underframe detail on this model compared to the Hornby model is a marked step forward. Moving on to the end, the separately painted internal gangway door, and also the data panel and C3 information. That's all printed legibly. I'm not quite sure whether the camera picks that up fully, but all that detail picked up, including sort of like the lift dates down the bottom. That's one thing you don't see on many items of stock. It's one thing with Oxford is I find a lot of the printed detail is very good, considering they're fairly new to ready to run stock. The quality of the things, obviously tying over from their vehicle range, is very good. And now, and say if I move you around for you, there's another view of that jumper cable on each end. That's for both ends of the stock. And looking along the profile there, you can say the overall shape of the side of a Mark III captured well with that slight curve in the ends. That's a nice touch, and I always thought there was a slightly too much of a curve in the Hornby model, but this one seems to have captured it slightly better than the Hornby model. So overall, a marked improvement over what Mark IIIs we had on the market in overall, and considering the last Mark IIIs released in this livery with the old Lima style ones, this is a massive step forward. But the key question that has been circulating online is, will the colours match with the Bachmann Scotrail livery? So what I'm going to do now is, there's an overall distance shot. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to couple these two pieces of track together, and I'm going to couple the 47 there, 47710, my Scotrail 47 that's going to be eventually hauling the push-pull set, and we'll have a direct comparison of how the liveries match up as far as levelling goes and shades, and see how that overall looks. Okay, so that's now the coach coupled up to the Class 47 in the same livery. I'll make an addition to this video in a later update once the driving brake second opened arrives, which is also on order from Hattons. That's coming in the coming weeks and stuff. Hattons have had a delay on their driving brake second opens, either or I'm waiting on the second batch because I ordered it a bit late. But looking at this marked up against the 47, the only and it's not much of a difference, is the difference in the grey. The grey on the Oxford model seems slightly lighter, but not noticeable where you've got the warning panel in between. The greens are nigh on a perfect match. As I said, the coach, obviously being slightly newer and not sat in a display case for a while, is showing slightly brighter, but of course that will be dulled down a bit. The white line on the coach appears slightly wider than that on the Bachmann model. Whether that's just a difference of loco versus coaching stock, I'm not too sure, but say I'll get a better comparison of that with the DBSO. But the match seems comparatively good here. So if I just slide this now in behind to put the liveries directly next to each other. Okay, so now with the liveries laid directly over, you see what I mean about the slightly darker grey on the bottom on the Bachmann model. But as I say, not entirely noticeable, and with a little bit of that would be the area where you'd be fitting some of your track grime anyway, so that would probably cover up. It's not much of a difference, but it may frustrate some. I'm happy with the overall matching of the colours, and looking forward to having the full rake up and running. I'm intending on heading down to the local club soon, so whenever the double gauge layout set up, if that's set up ahead of when we finally get some trains running on Leith Central, I'll get the full set up and running on the double gauge layout down there to show you some running shots of it. Also, the full rake of Regional Railways Mark 2s together to form the Transpennine set that I'm also working on modelling, and that will have a matching 47 as well in due course, as well as a couple of matching 37s, because the Regional Railways is a livery alike as is this one. So there'll be plenty more stock coming in this livery and in the Regional Railways livery. So I'll just add some photos in on the end and give you some overalls, what I think of out of 10 for each type of each area, really, like detail and everything. Coincidentally, the model came itself from Hattons, and Hattons' baseline price for these was £29 per coach. £29 for a brand new released straight from release Mark III coach with fantastic detail is a fantastic price, I think. Especially in the world where the prices are heading upwards now, and you'll pay anything up to £40 for a decent detailed Mark 1. To get a Mark 3 for £29 at this level of detail is excellent, and I think Oxford should be commended on the way they managed to keep their prices down. I suppose if you want lights fitting to them, you can fit them. I'm not going to take it apart and fit lights to these for now. I may in due course to make it match the DBSO, but that'll be a project to look at further down the road. So I hope this has given you some insight into the Scotrail Mark 3s, which coincidentally have only recently been released. And also I look forward to bringing you a full update on how progress is going on the layout. I mean, the post-Christmas hangover has slowed progress a little bit with the usual light we need to clear out after Christmas, pressure from above, as we might say. So I'll have some content for you over the next month, but from now as it is, enjoy your Christmas presents. I've got a couple more that need to unbox, so I'll probably do some reviews of them, and also I've got some bids from the Christmas money that I may get coming from eBay and Vectis soon, so we'll have a look at what comes through and then hopefully be a bumper haul within a couple of weeks. So enjoy your modelling. Once again, Happy New Year, and I'll leave you with some photographs around the new Oxford Diecast Mark III. Cheers.